What's up, my dudes? Merry Christmas, everybody. I know I'm a couple days late on this one, but had some videos pre-made there. So I'm like, a little bit, the videos I'm making right now are actually going to be uploaded a couple days later than, where you guys actually see them. So yeah, I wanted to come in here and make a video on the actual new sort of time of day semi-dynamic weather changing system to MX versus ATV All Out. Oh god, that was kind of crazy, a little physics bug glitch thing. It just happened right there. But yeah, so this is something, as you guys know, they first kind of started introducing it with the goat farm track, with the whole like nighttime version. I couldn't figure out how the hell do you get the nighttime version. Oh hey, it's just random on the track. Yeah, that's kind of insane. But so at the beginning, I was a little bit more kind of hesitant towards it, but I guess now that I'm seeing how they're trying to implement it, and they put it in all of the new Hometown National DLC for the game, so both of the free ride tracks, all four of the motocross tracks have this sort of like random time of day type of thing that you can have on each individual track. I see kind of more like what they were going for now that they put it into more tracks. And at first, I just thought it was like either it was a nighttime thing or it was a daytime version of the track, and it was just random. But there's actually more to it than that. There's you can kind of get this like morning style. You can get kind of like a middle of the day, like what you're seeing right here. This is more like what you'd call, somewhere around the noon-ish, something like that. A little 12 o'clock wheelie, what's up? See if I can get a 12 o'clock wheelie going, baby, landing in a wheelie, and then wrecking off the side of the track. All right, you can get something like a morning, and then like a noon style, and then you get like a bit of a sunset type of vibe going on, and then you can get the full-blown nighttime effect to it. And I almost think there's almost like two different kinds of nighttime daytime effects, and I don't know if it's different on every individual track. I don't know every little individual particular detail here, okay bro, but it's like, I'm just trying to go in here. I thought it'd be cool to make a video on this because we don't normally see this in a game. It's very similar to, kind of how the randomization of the time of day and stuff like that could be on Battlefield 1. You guys know it, not Battlefield, the original, like, came out 10 years ago Battlefield. I'm talking about Battlefield 1, the World War I Battlefield that came out, what was that, last year or something? That one, and the new one may have it too, the new Battlefield, what the hell, I can't keep up with any names of any. Battlefield 5, they go from Battlefield 4 to Battlefield 1 to Battlefield 5. Good God, these gaming companies, they don't know what the hell they're doing. Oh, man, it cracks me up. But either way, it made the whole, dynamic. It's not really dynamic. I mean, I think it is in Battlefield. Dynamic means basically it changes over time. So, like in PUBG, you can hop on there and it'll be like normal, it won't be raining or anything like that, and then midways through the match it'll start raining or it'll start getting fog on it, or the fog will go away or whatever. So that's really what they mean by dynamic. But with MX versus ATV All Out, you see how I'm on like a totally different kind of time of day. So this is more of the sunset type of feeling. We were just on the more so noon type of vibe there beforehand. So see, this is not so much what you would call like dynamic weather effect, because it's not like it's changing while you're actually playing on it. It's more so, I mean, I feel like they're somewhat trying to make it feel a little bit dynamic, you know what I mean? Like every time you get on one of these different tracks, it's got a different time of day, so it makes the track feel totally different, kind of like being a little bit more realistic in that sense. And you can't go in there and really like just choose between it, which I don't know. I mean, I guess I can start to understand a little bit more what they're going for now. They're trying to make it more of a not full-blown dynamic, but semi-dynamic, where it's like you hop on this one track, right, and it's like, oh, it's nighttime on this track. It's really cool. It's like a whole different track, and then you hop on this other track, and it's like morning time. Then you go back and hop on that very first track, and it's not nighttime that time. It's like sunset that time. So you get all these different variations to the way the off-track like skybox and lighting effects can look on each individual track. So in a way, not 100%, but in a way, even though you're getting 4 tracks, you're almost getting like 20 tracks in a certain sense, because you get all different kinds of, just having night versions of all these different tracks makes things feel totally different in that sense. So it is a cool, like, new type of like randomization time of day system that they're trying to do here, which it's certainly cool to see that, but I don't know. There's just something where you can't go in there and actually pick it it's definitely a bit of a different effect like that, but it's still interesting to see it. So, but yeah, I just wanted to come in here and kind of show this off, just kind of explain it to some people, because I actually had that on the Ricky Carmichael Goat Farm track. I got on there, and I thought I was on the night version of the track, but I think I was only on like it was like a, kind of like a, I don't know what you'd call it, almost nighttime type of feeling, but it wasn't totally pitch black. So I did notice that with the goat farm, how you can have the, it's not like there's just one night effect. Hell, there may be 10 different time of day effects on each one of these tracks. I don't really know. I don't think there's that many, but I certainly think, it's not like there's just one nighttime version and then there's one daytime version. There's more of like a midday, there's a sunset, there's probably a morning one. I'm not 100% sure, but there probably is more of like a morning one. And then there's like a pert near dark, but not pitch black midnight dark. You know what I mean? And then there's a full-blown dark where all the lights come on around the track and they're like pronounced, and you get these really dark areas on the track. So that's what I noticed on the Ricky Carmichael compound. I hopped on there one time and it was like, I thought it was the night version of it, but it wasn't the full-blown night version of it. And then I got on there the second time and it was like, oh, okay, this is the real night version of this mother trucker. And it was like, like literally there were certain parts of the goat farm track that you couldn't hardly see anything around you because of how dark it was. And like you actually had to play around where certain lights were placed on the track, and kind of how that would help you see in certain areas versus other areas and stuff like that. But, yeah, man, certainly interesting. All right, so the first track we was on there was sort of like the midday morning style, and then the second track we was on was more the sunset, getting all those glare effects and the cool, like sun's just about to go down. And then now here we are on the Goat Farm National track. Now, this is not the full-blown dark. This is the, like, in-between sunset and dark time of day effect that can actually spawn up there. So you see how, like, even though, yeah, it is, some people would consider this nighttime, it's not really. This is more like twilight, kind of, sort of, I guess that's what you'd call it, where, like, the lights, yeah, the lights are on, and they are making a slight effect on the track, but it's not like a crazy on-track effect. So, but this is interesting to see, this whole, like, new weather effect. It's not really weather, but and then a weather effect would be really cool to see it, now that I say that. Have a snow vibe track that actually has snow falling on it. I'm not really sure I know there was some snow tracks on Alive. I can't remember if those actually had falling snow or not. But be cool, if they could get into the more of the, like, wet style tracks where the rain's actually falling on it on certain tracks, and Rainforest Trail or something. That'd be really cool to see, like I made on MXM. Be really awesome to see it in like a AAA motocross game or something, like a full-blown. Could you imagine that? Like a full-blown like rainforest style motocross track or free ride track or something. It'd be sick, dude. It'd be cool to see some of my, like, Spencer Turley did it first in simulator style tracks actually be brought to life on a AAA motocross game. I just think that'd be so interesting, like the the whole space track stuff being brought to life in a AAA motocross game, and the you guys know all the stuff. I mean, I don't even have to say it. I mean, like, Bermuda Triangle, list just goes on and on. Fun Island, something like that, on a one of these more AAA style motocross games. More like a track that's down in a volcano. Obviously I got some crazy tropical vibes, in which they do have some tropical AAA tracks in these games. I was very impressed with that on All Out here. But just all the other designs and stuff, dimension stuff, like Spencer Turley really is what pushed that whole sort of track design, the Rainforest Trail, Tropical Storm style track, the list, man, it just goes on and on. I need to have my whole damn custom track list sitting right here to really explain it to you, but all the space track stuff, and then you mix that in, you got alien tracks, and all of a sudden you got whatever. I mean, there's just no limit, dude. Like, whenever I look at motocross design, track making design stuff, it's like a full-blown open canvas in my mind, full-blown blank canvas. To a lot of people, it's not. A lot of people, when they go to make a motocross track in a game, they look at it like, it has to be set in all these different parameters. You know, they look at trying to make a realistic style motocross track. I bet you 90% of your track makers out there are like that. But with me, even though I do make some more like standard woodland realistic style motocross tracks, I never set that restriction on my mind. I look at motocross tracks like it can literally be anything. You know, future SX with a full-blown concrete track all the way around the track. You know, super sticky concrete traction, or trippy. You know, you got a trippy track with these changing rainbow-colored smiley faces off the track, and you got mushrooms on the side of the track, and all this wild stuff. You know, purple fog on it, and all this weird design stuff like that. I just think it's so cool. The potential, the possibility of what you can actually make, because you can make anything, right? That dirt bike can hit a lot of different stuff when you talk about like how you design jumps, how you design the track. I mean, there's so many different types of tracks that haven't, like, total different types of tracks that haven't even been designed yet. You know, when you talk about like motocross, supercross, endurocross, there's so many different hybrids and variations and stuff of all of that you can design that ain't even been made yet. And you can piece it and put it together in so many different ways, man. But yeah, I'm getting off on some crazy topics. Alright, so all I can say about this different time of day thing is it's just random. And when I mean random, like, it's random. I mean, I've restarted this race on this goat farm track 5 times now and got the exact same time of day. So I don't know what the hell. Let me try it one more time. We'll see if it changes. There we go again. I guess in my mind, I know for a fact you can get the goat farm darker than this right here, right? I know you can do that for sure. Damn, I was hoping I could get it on there like that, but I guess in my mind, anytime you restrict options, it's like usually never a good thing. I don't see what the big issue would be with having it to where when you go in here and pick which track you're wanting, like you go on goat farm like this, why is there not just one little thing where you can, you know, it's like right here by your laps difficulty vehicle class, or like another little option right here where you can just flick between the time of day, whether it be like morning, noon, sunset, nighttime, or whatever your different weather effects are in there, and you can just flick between which one you wanted. If you're wanting to make every track have all different, you know, time of day effects, then what's the big deal in just having it an option in there where you can just change it to what you want it to be? I don't know. It's kind of bizarre. Here I am again. I don't know. Getting this like 10 times in a row. This is weird. Let me see. So we were on, guess we were on that one, right? Let's go to the Bighorn. Not the one we were on before, but a different one. And I'll try to show you. Maybe it'll be nighttime or something. But I think it's certainly cool that they, you know, instead of just having one time of day on each one of these tracks, it's cool that they've got all different times of day on all of them. So you get like a totally different feel on each one of them. We kind of got that sunset, you know, vibe again here for this. Let's see. See if we can get a different one on the same track. I don't know. I'm struggling to get like a totally different time of day effect right after I restart it. See, it's giving it the same one again right here. I don't know. Have they changed that, or I don't know, dude. This one was on before, right? Let's see. Maybe if you restart it when you're on that you restart that track on the same track, it doesn't change the actual weather effect. That's possible. There's sunset vibe again on that. What the hell? I thought there was different time of day effects. Like you can see, right, look at this right here. On the actual picture of this, you can tell that's not sunset. That's like the midday thing going on there. Let's go back to the goat farm. Try this again. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on behind the scenes here. Like how this is actually working. That's a bit of an issue too, because I would like to actually, you know, at least know how it's doing it or be able to change it or something. Okay, so here we are, Goat Farm National, and this is like the midday version, right? This could be the morning version, but I don't think so. I think this is like the noon version right here. But you can see how different it makes the track. I mean, good God, man. It's like literally night and day, no pun intended. You know what I'm saying? It really is. Like if you compared the full-blown day version to the full-blown night version, like pert near pitch black, you got to use the lights to even see to get around the track. It's like a whole different track, which is so cool to have in a motocross game. But I guess in Rainbow Studios' mind, they want it to be more random so that it's like, oh, hey guys, let's go race on the goat farm track. Oh, dude, it's nighttime. Oh, shit. You know, kind of like having that randomization feeling to it. Like, I get where they're going with it, trying to go with it on that side of it. But I guess in my mind, I don't see why you can't just go in there and pick. It would just make things better if you could pick. You know, and that way you can, if you get tired of the day version, it's like, all right, dude, let's go race on the night version instead of having to go in there and just restart the race 10 times over to try to get the right time of day version that you want on it. I don't know. Like, I'm twisted on this because I get what they're trying to do with it, but at the same time, it's kind of like silly in my mind to eliminate that choice of it. But either way, I just wanted to go in there and kind of point this out. Cool little different time of day effect. And you see this in the Fisher Monster Energy Supercross game when you go from like time trial to actually racing on a track. When you go to actually racing on the track, it's the full-blown nighttime version, but when you go to time trial, it's either, depending on what track you're on, it'll be like sunset or daytime on it or whatever. So that's kind of how you get a slight difference in your time of day with the official Monster Energy Supercross game, but it's not like this where you've got 5 or 6 different time of day effects that can be on each one of these DLC tracks. So I don't really think this is in any of the default tracks of the game. Like, I don't think you can go on the old school, you know, tropical motocross tracks in the game and they be nighttime or something. There's damn tiki torches out there lighting up the track. Like, I don't think that's in there right now, but it'd be sick as fuck if they would have put that in. But if they had a night version of it or whatever. I don't know. There's a certain side of me that thinks it's cool to have like certain tracks that are dedicated to night and certain tracks that are dedicated to day. For instance, like back in the days of MX vs. ATV Unleashed and Untamed, you remember some of those nighttime tracks because they were always nighttime. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's that nighttime track that, you know, whatever, on MX vs. ATV Unleashed. You guys know the different, there's one of them on Untamed that's nighttime. You guys know that free ride nighttime track. It's like memorable in your mind because it's one of the only nighttime tracks in the game. But if you made that a daytime track, then it wouldn't have that same impact. So it's bizarre. And when you go back to like the you know, Unleashed days and stuff, the nighttime tracks in some of those games, I know that Northern Lights nighttime track, you know, you remember that shit because it's one of the only nighttime tracks in the game. So then it creates that really cool, like, exclusivity on certain tracks, and instead of just having night versions on every track in the game, then the tracks don't really feel like they have that. So it's bizarre. I mean, it's cool to see the variation of having like nighttime, daytime, midday, sunset, and all that. But at the same time, there's a part of me that's like, ugh, I don't know too much. I don't know how much I want that. You know, the sunset vibe track on, I think it's I think that's Untamed, maybe. The one where you're like on that big like desert style mountain top, but it's sunset vibed. You know, you remember that track because it's sunset vibed, and you remember some of the other tracks because of their times of day. Like, it fits into that particular track. So to just have all different kinds of weather effects on every track kind of eliminates a little bit of the soul of the track to a certain extent, what you remember it for. But that's just me, man. So either way, personally, I would rather, I think it's cool to have like 1 or 2 tracks in some of these games that you've got like a day and a nighttime version of or whatever. But for the most part, I don't really think they need to go down the road of having like, you know, semi-dynamic time of day on every track in the future motocross games. I don't know. I don't know how much I like that. I would have to see it more in action in the future to really know if I want that to truly be in a motocross game or not. But either way, man, that's it for this video. Appreciate you guys watching. Later, dudes.